Hello everybody, I'm Brendan Crowley, President of County Wexford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Emma Dunphy, CEO of County Wexford Chamber. You're now listening to County Wexford Chamber Business Podcast.
Today we're going to be talking to Trudy, the owner of Trudies Kitchen, a well-known catering business from New Ross that's taken on the world. They recently won an award at the County Wexford Chamber Business Awards, and we're going to talk to Trudy and hear about her business and maybe discover why they won that award.
Great. So, Trudy, I suppose just before we dive in, you might just tell us where I believe it all started back in the early 2000s in your family home, and I think it was the first tub of coleslaw. Am I right in saying that?
Exactly. Actually, look at it, was a great idea at the time to finish up work, and I was working as a shop assistant in Dan Kavanagh's, and I loved to entertain family and friends, and I'd love to make the salads for any parties we had, and christenings and communions and that. And over time then, lots of my friends asked me to do it for their christenings and communions and parties, and so that's literally how it started. My husband Michael was a fresh food manager for SuperValu, and one day he came home and he was like, we need to get good coleslaw in the store in SuperValu, and I was like, sure, can I not make it?
Yeah.
So following on from that lunchtime conversation with Michael, I registered with Trudies, and they took me on board, and I did a few courses with them in relation to how to make coleslaw, because it's an exact science, because of the enzymes in the cabbage and create shelf life and all that. So Trudies were very good in the initial setup. So on September the 1st, 2000, my sister-in-law Mary Lynch and I opened up the doors of Trudies Kitchen. We made our first bucket of coleslaw and delivered it over to what's now Malloy's SuperValu on the Quay in New Ross. Yeah. So they were great supporters to us all over the time. And Tommy Morrissey's there now as the manager, and he continues to support all the businesses in the locality.
I said such a success story, and now you employ over 20 people up in New Ross. Am I right in saying that?
That's right. For the first 2 years, we had built an extension onto the back of the house, and so we were literally working from home. And it was kind of around the clock. I was a little bit obsessed in the beginning to try get ahead. But I've learned now that you're never going to get ahead. If you can just get done what you need to do that day is the main thing. And within 2 years then, we had moved down to the Waterford Road Business Park, where we are today.
Yeah.
And
so from supplying New Ross, or for SuperValu in New Ross, one bucket of coleslaw, to now having a contract with BWG, and you know, your food is in many different stores across Ireland at this rate.
It is. The people of Wexford have always been great supporters of the Trudies salads, and we're well known as a brand in Wexford and Scorty, Gorey, Arklow. Pettit Group have been very good to us. We had 5 of their shops from literally within a few months of starting the business. So we were able to grow organically then into additional shops and retailers with Dunn's, Tesco. Last year we did grow with Aldi, and we were nationwide in Aldi for that period, and for 2 other special buys. So that gave us the whole feeling that yes, we could go nationwide with one of the multiples. So when BWG contacted us in relation to do an own brand for them, we knew we could step up our production facility, and it's distributed by their distribution chain rather than us in our vans calling to all the shops. Yeah. So we'll have the 2 outlets now in relation to going direct to store ourselves, and we're centre billing with Musgraves as well. So that's opened up a lot more doors as well.
Brilliant. And it's not just yourself, Trudy, your husband, and you have family. You have a lot of family members involved.
Oh, we do. It's literally a family business. So Michael came on board 2 years into the business, and Richard then, once he had done his leave and cert, all he wanted to do was drive vans, and he's very good with the sales, and all the customers love him, and he's a good guy. So he's great for the business as well, and he's a great young mind as well. So he's coming back with ideas to us now as well. And then my sister-in-law Mary, and my nephew, and Michael's godchild Jamie, he's one of the drivers as well. So my daughter Siobhan is just finishing her masters, so she's now leaving the business. She was there on the weekends and helping with social media and that, so she's flying the nest now. So it's back to Michael, Richard and I at the dinner table chatting what we're doing, where we're going, all of that. So
Can I ask how often you have coleslaw for dinner or with your dinner?
But we always have to taste tests. So
Taste test.
Exactly.
Quality assurance.
But there's a lot more to us than coleslaw. So we have the potato salad. That's absolutely delicious. All Wexford potatoes going into it. Cullens do all of our veg prep. So local onions, local potatoes. We get delivered fresh every morning in spring water. So we've got no additives to the potatoes to preserve their life. And we cook them fresh from the spring water. We steam them and we mix them. And that's what the secret is to the flavour and the taste. It's all local, so low miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can I take it that for the benefit of people who wouldn't know, BWG is actually better known as Spar, is that
It
correct?
is Spar, Eurospars.
Yeah, so when we go into a shop and see those Trudies Kitchen, we know where they're coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was kind of fascinated before because a huge amount of products like that tended to come in, were imported on a daily basis into Ireland, and you've probably displaced a certain amount of that now and turned it into a local business, a local industry and locally supplied products. Is that correct?
Well, we're 22 years in business now, and the business is still growing. And the way we look at it is we make fresh every day as per our orders, and then we just make it fresh and deliver it out. So the best life of the product is with the person who's going to consume it rather than having it made. We don't have a long shelf life product. We don't put additives into it. So we'd only have 10 days on the product, the coleslaws and the salads from the date of manufacture. A lot of other salads have 28 days on them. So we pride ourselves on making it fresh, delivering it quickly, and the best possible product then is for the customer.
Very good. It all kind of counts on doing it really well and running a smart process to kind of not have waste as well, doesn't it? Because if you're trying to do it almost kind of ready to order, it's I take it you're not overproducing, if you know what I mean. No. There's no waste. Like
today now we have the 3 days sunshine guaranteed for the next 3 days. Like today coming down is 22 degrees. So we'll already be anticipating the surge in sales for that, so that we're able to react very quickly and put in additional product on the deliveries for tomorrow, because all of our local shops will be, after selling lots of variety packs, coleslaw, to go with their cooked hams, bread rolls, everyone's going to have picnics.
And barbecues probably.
And barbecues, yeah, exactly.
And kind of what's the busiest time of the year then?
Well, from St. Patrick's weekend onwards, we would have accelerated growth every single week. An area that we're just really changing at the moment now is our ready-to-go range. So our ready-to-go range would be the products that have only 3 days shelf life. So you'd be talking about your sandwiches, your wraps, your lunch bowls, your salads. So we do a lot of own brand for different places like Johnstown Castle, Carter's Cafe, Hook Lighthouse, and we're looking at all of the dietary requirements now for your gluten-free, your lactose-free, high protein, and we're developing a range with Johnstown Castle, and we're testing it with Johnstown Castle, and that's going very well. And there's also a vegan range that has been launched, and we're getting out of the plastic containers and going with cardboard, and we're getting everything pre-printed done onto the tub, so it's going to look lovely when the whole suite is done. At the moment, last week it was the lunch bowls were launched and the wraps this week.
So from a lady who started out making good coleslaw, you've had to learn a hell of a lot of other things along the way to get to where you are.
It is and once you do it organically and learn as you go, I've done all of the courses from the manual handling, the food safety, the ISOs. So we'd send our staff out for a lot of training. I believe in training people, and they come back with great skill sets, and they're a great advantage to the team then, so that I'm able to depend on them. So 2 of our team there did the food hygiene management there, and both of them, panicked going into it, and they've both come out with distinctions. So it's great that they're able to do things that they didn't even know they were able to do themselves.
Brilliant. And there's lots of support out there then, obviously, Trudy.
There is, sure, we get the prompts from yourselves here on courses coming up, and David Power does the food hygiene and the level 1-2 hygiene. Very good trainer. So they come back and they'll be telling me the stories that he's after telling them in the training, and the stories resonate with them with what they're doing back at base, and it's a great way of learning. So
very good.
We'd always support the courses.
So, if I may ask, Trudy, what's your visions for the future of Trudy's Kitchen?
Yeah, the vision is good. Hopefully I'll stay on track now, because I have a tiny touch of OCD and I like being full on and in it. But no, the future of Trudies Kitchen is to stick with what we're doing, do everything that we're doing, do well. Richard will take on more responsibility in the business. At the moment he is, and he's taken a role of doing the wages and lots of new things for him as well. And Michael and I would like to be able at some stage to be consultants to the business and step back a bit in another 5 years' time or so. But yeah, we think the future is good, it's bright, starting this new nationwide contract now, and to facilitate all the great shops that have supported us for the last 22 years. Like, we've customers, Ted Kinsling, Greg Namana, he was with us from day one as well, like, and he's still a current customer of ours. So we want to look after everyone because they've looked after us so well, and, you know, just gave us the opportunity to sell in their shops.
And it's fantastic to see that support, you know, that your product is supported by so many businesses around. I was going to say that Wexford businesses were supporting you, but you just before I said it, you've thrown in Kilkenny there as well. And you're obviously in Waterford as well, and further afield.
And up to Bray. And yeah, we're literally on a very busy route for all the different stores. And like, at the end of the day, people want to spend their money on quality products, and we are an affordable quality product, and we'd like to be able to stay sustainable as well for the business and for all the things that are coming at businesses now over the next couple of years in relation to employment law and sick pay and all that. Like, it's going to be tough for all small businesses with all the new things coming down, but you look at, we'll adapt, and we have a great team. It's all about our crew back at base.
And that's the important thing, isn't it?
Is,
team,
yeah.
like, and in your case, plenty of family in the team as well. But I mean, it's not 24 from your family, so you're obviously doing something right, that your team is growing and people are staying with you. So,
and I know we were talking earlier about the awards, and I know you enjoyed the night and a bit of dancing with Hector and whatnot. But what did it mean to you and the team to win the Food and Beverage Producer of the Year award?
Oh, sure, look at it, was just, we're exhilarated. And like, my sister-in-law doesn't like these fancy events and that, and she totally enjoyed it. And like, they were very proud, and everyone back at base then was proud. And we'll have our own celebration with the whole team now, and we'll bring them out for a meal. And like, it means so much, that what they do every day. And like, we're at a very high standard. We're going for our ISO 22000 now as well. So we're doing things beyond the legal requirement, and they understand that we're forecasting what we need to be doing for the future. So we're doing it now, and we're staying ahead of it. And to produce safe food is our number one every single day. And the communication between the management and the team and the drivers and the delivery and the dispatch, it has to be really well monitored, and they feed back data to each other the whole time. But everyone back at base was absolutely delighted, and the actual award itself was beautifully designed by Kent and Kent Engineering. When I started the business, I had to put a shore in the ground in the kitchen, and I remember Kent did the shore and designed it for me, and they gave me such great advice at the time, and that was 22 years ago, that the first piece of equipment that I didn't understand was to put this shore into the ground to drain water from the floor. And they designed it, so it was very fitting then that we have a nice piece of design trophy now on display in the unit.
Great, and proudly displayed. Well, look, I know we both wish you and the team every success for the future, and thanks for coming in this afternoon to chat with us. And yeah, best of luck.
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thanks
very
William.
much.
Thanks everyone for listening to County Wexford Chamber Business Podcast. We hope you enjoyed.